guys hear that pretty loudly, or was it?
I didn't hear it.
anything.
Yeah, I didn't hear it at all.
I heard it.
Sweet.
All right, I'm sending us to live right now. If one of you guys or all of you guys, whatever, if somebody wants to pull up the YouTube channel, just in case there's some chats that you guys see before I see them.
I got it.
All right. We should be alive.
Woo! For once, I'm alive.
Oh my gosh.
For once.
Buddy,
you are alive.
buddy, I need my my hand for the mouse.
I bet you said that a lot of times. You said that plenty of times.
If
love the
you
title.
quiet, kid, eat my carpet. Just eat the rug. As long as it keeps her quiet.
Oh, wow. It's a rental.
Well, I mean, like my actual rug.
Oh,
Just gnawing on it. But it only cost me like $50, so
look
I'm
at
not
you,
too
chubby baby.
upset.
She still got the baby chub.
Yeah, and she's teething, so
That's
it's
cute.
really hard to find something that for her to chew that keeps her interest.
All
Have
right.
you thought about a chew toy?
Yes, we've gotten lots of them.
We have a lot. I guess we don't have any comments yet, so it's not showing. Oh, I see where it is.
Hey,
Did you see it pop up?
Yeah, well, I've got the pop-up. I see it. It's going right now. But
Okay. Well, that'll start after I share it to Facebook after we get started.
Hey, Nico, have you thought about getting better internet?
No, I mean, I've got it. I found it.
Are you sure, Mr. Robot?
Am
It
I
was
robotic?
weird. You were sounding good, but it did just start doing that. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
actually think maybe it started when I heard the YouTube channel in the background.
And
Yeah,
to Zach's point, I mean, Zach, we got the biggest internet package that we can
Yeah, Tina's
logistically afford.
doing
okay.
great.
Okay. Have you thought about connecting your computers via Ethernet so you get the best connection?
The modems downstairs, we'd have to get like massive amounts of Ethernet cables, which I'm not opposed to doing, but with a puppy,
one of us could connect.
Just put it on the ceiling.
Yeah, one of us could connect our computers to the router. I mean the extender, but we would have to move the extender to one of our offices instead of.
Yes, Zach, have you thought about not being a dick?
I've thought
he
about it,
hasn't.
but it's more fun just to be a dick.
we're used to his dickery.
It's true. Let's do this thing. You guys ready?
Yes.
On this episode of the Culture Smash Cast,
Looks like they're trying to make Fletch happen.
Wibby, more like this is garbage.
That joke was
Nobody hasn't
garbage.
claimed AMC just yet.
I realized after we started that we forgot to say the order, but it came out all right. It's the Culture Smash Cast, episode 531 for July what is the date? July the 15th, 2020. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of CultureSmash.tv. Nico?
Nicholas Qualls, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
Tina?
Tina Heinbach, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
Zach?
I'm Zach Martin. I'm a professional dick, I guess, according to these fine people.
No one said anything about professional. You're just a dick.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't recall professional.
Yeah, don't be
Well, you know what?
adding.
You know what? My
You don't get paid.
My cat loves me.
Yeah, because your cat doesn't know better.
It's because my cat is a sweetie pie.
The cat knows who feeds it, so it's obligated to love you.
Obligated love. Yeah, is that what
Okay.
makes you feel better?
I mean, I give it
It's
the
Stockholm
treats.
syndrome.
It is Stockholm Syndrome. It's true.
Shut up.
As he pets the cat. All right, what have you guys been up to?
I have been watching more What We Do in the Shadows.
Is it getting better?
I just got to the part where Guillermo finds out his heritage. I basically just watch an episode on lunch at work, and it's something to do that keeps her entertained. I can keep an eye on her, but I don't know. I'll be happy when I'm done with it.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
a glowing recommendation.
Glowing,
Okay. I'll be
yeah.
happy when I'm done with it.
Yeah, I would have stepped away from that a bit ago. Nico, what have you been up to?
So I'm still on Perry Mason, so I'm caught up on that.
Well, what's your
And
feeling on that now? What's your feeling? Do you like it any better?
I still like it. It's still I'm still pretty entertained by it. Like I like that noir mystery feel. It's very much a neo noir murder mystery. That's just straight up what it is. It does not have to be Perry Mason. Nothing in the movie, nothing in the show has to be Perry Mason at all. I have no idea why they went with Perry Mason. The wiki diving I've done into Perry Mason does not seem like this really uses a lot of Perry Mason other than some names. So that's weird. But overall, I'm entertained. I'm also started watching Hannibal because that went up on Netflix, and I'm 3 or 4 episodes into that.
What are you thinking about that? I think that one got canceled prematurely, though. Does it get an ending? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know that. I think, from my understanding, I believe the ending that Hannibal gets is basically kind of rushed to end of the series. So I think it does get an ending, but I haven't looked too heavily into it. I should probably do that before I dedicate more time into the rest of this and the next 2 seasons.
Yeah, because you're going to be mad.
Like Mads Mikkelsen, who plays Hannibal.
All right, so I got a surprise for you guys before we get into the first movie story. Guess what I have?
A movie.
You have COVID?
No, neither of those. What I have is
Good.
what I have. You ready for this? I have box office numbers.
Oh my god! Oh
Yep.
my god!
Yep. You ready for this? Here you go. Here's your top 10. Number 10 over the weekend was a movie called Most Wanted. It made $138,000. Number 9 was the reissue of Gremlins. It made $140,000. Number 8 was a reissue of Jaws. It made $140,000. Number 7 was a little indie movie called Palm Springs.
Hold on, just so we're clear. Number 9 and 8 were tied.
Yes,
so
sir.
Is that by alphabetical or just by happenstance?
It's just by happenstance.
Okay.
Yeah. Palm Springs made $164,000. Relic made $195,000. Number 5 is the Goonies re-release. That one made $213,000. Number 4 is Jurassic Park. That one made $224,000. Number 3 is Inside Out re-release. That one made $340,000. Number 2 is Black Panther re-release. It made $367,000. Okay, you ready for number 1?
I know it, but let's go.
Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back made $611,000.
So, quick question: the
Yep.
only theaters open right now are, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, drive-ins and a couple.
No, you are
Actual-
correct. You are 100% correct. It's
So-
drive-ins and a few art house theaters. That's all that's open right now.
So, being real, if, like, as for example, our drive-in has one fee, but you get 2 movies, is that split evenly across 2 movies, or is that like, well, $5 goes
That's a
here
good
and
question.
$12 goes there?
No, I am pretty sure that's probably split evenly. And you know what else I'm not 100% sure of is how drive-ins actually have to pay. Like if they pay a certain amount for the print, or if they're doing like traditional theaters, like where they pay a percentage. I'm not sure.
Because that's why, I mean, support your local drive-in right now. That's why it's like, when the times we've gone, it's been like, well, I'm getting concessions, so, you know, they can get money and continue to do this.
Exactly. It's crazy though. How many times in my lifetime Empire Strikes Back been number 1 at the box office?
Probably once.
I think 3 times.
Was there a reissue?
There was.
Well, I mean,
yes.
there was all the special editions in the 90s, but
The
I don't
90s.
know if they
Yeah.
peaked the box office.
Yeah, I know they were in the top 10, but I don't know if it was number 1. But if it was, wow, that would probably be 2 or 3 times that is in my lifetime that it's been that, at least in the top 10 for sure. It's crazy.
Let's see. There was a,
and that actually it did show at the it was a great double feature actually that showed here at our drive-in. It was Empire Strikes Back and wasn't it Raiders?
yeah, it
that's a
was
good
Raiders and
combo.
Empire.
That's a great double feature.
So it was released, re-released in '82, where it debuted at number 2.
Yep.
Outside of its original, there was a 2015 re-release, which was not US. So twice, actually, excuse me, special edition.
I was gonna say,
yeah, special edition. Oh, come on, give me the info, please. Domestic.
give up the info.
It did come out at number 1 for 2 weeks. It was number 1.
So that's 3 times it's been in the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Outside of its original, yeah.
I just got so excited when the Box Office Mojo like little notification popped up that there was box office numbers. Man, the days. All right, let's get into the movie news.
It just, you don't realize how good you have it until it's gone.
That's true. All right, who's got the first one? Tina?
I do. Hollywood has long sought to reboot the Gregory MacDonald mystery series Fletch, about an investigative journalist, which was turned into 2 films starring Chevy Chase in the 80s, the hit Fletch and its much less successful follow-up, Fletch Lives. Kevin Smith famously tried to adapt MacDonald's Fletch 1 in the 90s, with everyone from Jason Lee to Zach Braff attached to the role at various times. Now, it looks like a new Fletch film is finally happening, with none other than the great Jon Hamm in the lead. Set to be directed by Greg Mottola, who did Superbad, with Miramax producing, according to Deadline. The new film adaptation will specifically be based on the second book in the MacDonald series, Confess, Fletch. Zev Boro, consulting producer of the Lethal Weapons TV series, will be penning the feature adaptation. The plot is basically in a mysterious chain of wild events. Fletch finds himself in the middle of multiple murders, one of which pins him as the prime suspect. While on a quest to prove his innocence, Fletch is tasked with finding his fiance's stolen art collection, the only inheritance she's acquired after her father goes missing and is presumed dead.
Has anybody seen these movies?
No.
I saw them.
Fletch is a weird movie franchise because it's one of those ones that was in syndication on television. I've never start to finish watched a Fletch movie.
So I can remember, I guess it was probably on HBO thing, seeing it, the first one for sure. The second one, it seems like I saw it. Now, the first one, I remember being really funny, but Chevy Chase has a very specific kind of humor. It's like, it's weird. It's when he was at his peak, it was like really dry, but also really like slapstick at the same time. I can't think of anybody who does that kind of like humor like that anymore. If you haven't seen these movies, just look at Caddyshack, because in that movie he's playing like this zen like dude, but he's hilarious, and that was his specialty. If you haven't seen these movies, and you can find them, at least the first one anyway, you should see, because it's really, really funny. It's a period piece now, of course.
Yeah.
Pre cell phone and pre all the other stuff. I don't see Jon Hamm as being that funny, though. It's a little weird choice to me.
He can be. I mean, I immensely enjoyed him in The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Because that role made me laugh a lot. It was creepy, but it also made me laugh a lot. So I can see him being humorous.
Whenever I think of Jon Hamm being like in a comedy, I think of him in Bridesmaids and how cringe he was in that.
See, I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
Let me spare you. That movie's awful.
Well, the interesting thing would be, this would be the first time I think that he's been the lead in a comedy like this. Like everything else, Bridesmaid, for example, or Kimmy Schmidt, he's been a supporting role at a very, not a big part, not the lead at all.
The only close thing, actually, is Tag. and he had equal billing with Jeremy Renner, and
That's right. Tag
the other-
was fun.
and
Yeah.
Tag is actually a funnier, more entertaining movie than you think it's going to be. But I
Yeah.
think Jon Hamm actually just sort of played the straight man most of the time. Jeremy
he
Renner was
was.
surprisingly really funny in that movie. But I just don't see him being like a comedic lead.
Especially since that movie is the reason he's not in Infinity War.
Exactly, because he broke I thought he broke both of his arms or something in one of the stunts.
Yeah, broke both of his
Yeah.
arms. It's not playing the superhero in the Avengers movies. It's playing tag.
Exactly. But this had me thinking about that original movie, and I'm telling you, I remember as a teenager seeing that thing on HBO, and it's real funny. So I just don't know. I don't know. I like Jon Hamm though, but I liked him. You know what he was really good in for the small amount of time he was in was Bad Times at the El Royale.
I was going to go with the
Yeah.
town. He was good in the town. Bad
He's great in
Times.
he's been great in a lot of things. He was good in Mad Men, but not comedies. More dramas. Have you seen that, Tina and Nico? Have you guys seen the Bad Times?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I think it was on both of our lists that year.
Yeah.
That's right. But I
Yeah,
just see him
I'm a
in-
sucker for anything that even alludes or mimics the Charles Manson kind of cult mentality. So
That's right.
I was
That's
all
right.
about that movie.
Remind me. I tagged you about a show earlier, but we can talk about it in TV. So I don't know. I like the story, and I think I feel like this kind of movie though isn't theatrical material anymore. I don't know. Would people go to see this kind of comedy now in the theater?
Well, your problem is anyone. I mean, Nika and Tino hasn't seen it,
Yeah.
and no one in my generation has pretty much seen it,
Yeah.
or even knows what Fletch is.
Well, even in my generation, it was cable as a re-air, a repeat.
So who is this for?
I feel like it. Yeah, because you're right. Because if you're going to trade on nostalgia, you should trade on something people recognize.
It's not even trading on nostalgia. It's trading on name brand.
Mm-hmm.
It's
kind of weird.
This is a situation where it's like we're going to sell Tintin to Americans, and all Americans are like, "Who the hell is Tintin?"
Yeah, they were all wrong.
They were all wrong.
Tintin was a wonderful movie.
Yeah, but it wasn't. There was no hype based on, "Oh, they're making a Tintin movie." It was, "Here's this animated thing."
Hype.
And then people saw it and was like, "Oh, well,
Right
this
here.
is good," but it wasn't. The brand had nothing to do with that.
So the only argument that I can possibly see is if you wanted to do a sort of old school PI, like private investigator style comedy, it is a hard sell in and of itself. So any minor amount of brand recognition you could get would be more than nothing. And I
get that's kind of probably what, like Perry Mason. It's the same thing. It's not comedy, but it is this neo-noir lawyer investigative story. Well, okay, let's just ape the Perry Mason brand and just tack it on top of this thing because it's some name recognition. It at least has the smallest amount of buy-in already built in. Even if it's not a lot, it's something. And then they could otherwise do whatever they want for the story. I forgot that Fletch was based on books. I honestly have no idea how faithful the Chevy Chase Fletch is to any of the books.
I didn't even know until you just now said it that Fletch was
Same
based on
here.
books.
I had no idea.
I have
Technically, Tina
to
said it
wonder.
first.
Yeah, I have to wonder how many of these detective, investigative journalist, murder mystery kind of things that we're gonna see, because I feel like it's almost trying to ride the coattails of Knives Out with that being as successful as it was.
Mhm.
So I have to wonder. Which I mean, murder mysteries. It's me. I'm not gonna complain.
No, I'm
constantly. So
I'm
I
in.
just have to wonder how many are we gonna see in the future.
Well, the majority of the reason Knives Out worked is because of the ensemble.
Yeah, the casting was.
You had a crap ton of known actors, even though it wasn't an Agatha Christie story. It was obvious they were riffing on the style, and even though I understand it was terrible, it's kind of going on the Orient Express thing. It's a whole subgenre, You know, my only thing about a movie like this is
But I think
go ahead.
okay. I think that kind of works a little. I'm here.
Yeah,
Am I lagging?
Yeah.
Yes, you are,
Yep.
Very
Mr.
much.
Robot.
Continue.
All right, let me try without that mic.
Oh my
Am I coming
gosh.
through okay?
So,
Yes.
It's much.
All right.
Yeah.
Woo. Okay. So I think that might have helped Knives Out, the fact that while it's very Agatha Christie-esque, it is not Agatha Christie. It's its own original content. So it allowed it to kind of play around in an area and also kind of possibly, definitely to Tina's hope, revamp this murder mystery genre in film, because it is something that's original. It's not simply, oh, well, that only did well because it's Murder on the Orient Express, so it's based off a book. Nothing else is going to have that potential. Well, now it is its own thing, so other things can have that potential.
Well, my only issue is I feel like two things. I feel like people expect if they're going to spend money at the theater that it needs to be more like of an epic experience. If they do, what Fletch should probably look like, there's probably some network TV, some high budget network TV that will look about the same. So it won't feel like, oh, why did I come to the theater for this? You know? And then the other side of the token, we have this thing with studios now thinking that a movie is a failure if it makes $50 million at the box office. When the fact is, if they make an $8 million, $10 million movie and it makes 40 or 50, that should be a success. COVID might reset all of this, honestly.
I want to propose a counter to one of your arguments about people wanting an epic experience. I mean, with COVID, a lot of people, depression rates are high. They might want just a funny film, something not serious, something that's not going to scare the pants off of them, like if they watch Contagion in their homes.
At this point, they just want an experience.
Well, I guess my argument is, up to this point, if it was a comedy that opened in the theater and was considered a success, it was usually a huge ensemble cast that made it get to that space, you know?
And we don't know what the cast will be. We know Jon Hamm, so we got one name attached to it. They could go, and I think they should. I think they really should go ensemble on this. You have Jon Hamm as Fletch, as the investigator, and then have stuff names down the throat of this film. So, because that is what's going to bring people in.
And you know, Chevy Chase is going to do a cameo.
Well, I kind of hope not.
He will.
I mean, having a great cast, it worked for Zoolander too, right?
Well, I mean, that movie probably made money. I don't like those movies, so I'm not.
I don't remember Zoolander. I don't even remember anything about Zoolander 2 other than it existed.
It was a thing.
It was about his son. It was weird.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it only made $28 million in the U.S.
Well.
Oh, well, then maybe it didn't make money. Well, I mean, having
but the reviews
ensemble
for that were in the.
Well, that's it. I was going to say, having an ensemble cast is not a guarantee. It just feels like to get people into the theater to see something that's not the Avengers, it has to. I mean, to me, I hope I'm wrong about that, and maybe to Tina's argument, maybe COVID changes all that. Maybe people just want to go see something, and that would be cool, as long as it's something that's good and funny, if it's supposed to be, unless it's not supposed to be.
I have a feeling like
That was such a roller coaster.
I have an honest feeling like you could put out a gigantic piece of trash in the theaters and it will just make gangbusters because people just want to see anything.
Yeah, because
well, that depends because some theaters may not be open for much longer. Segue. All right, AMC has possibly been the most impacted theater chain from the pandemic shutdown. The chain suffered roughly $2.2 billion in quarterly losses, and it may not even survive even if it gets a summer reopening for summer blockbusters, which keep getting pushed back and back. Reopening also seems more unlikely because COVID-19 keeps rising in many parts of the country. However, according to Deadline, AMC has reached a new debt agreement through an organization called Silver Lake Group. that should keep them afloat through the year. Silver Lake Group will loan AMC enough money to keep them solvent and open through 2021. In exchange, they're going to receive either 10% in cash or 12% in additional notes, and the interest that would be due on in 2026. So hopefully this will make AMC less inclined to rush into an unsafe opening, because as we've talked about on the show, originally they were going to open not making masks mandatory. So I don't know if their judgment's the best.
Well, they were the first ones to stop matting screens, so we know how to. I'm glad. They're not my favorite theater, but I'm glad they figured something out, because I want to see the theaters survive, and very much of competition.
Yeah.
In the Dolby Cinema is quite the experience. Even though the last movie I saw in the Dolby Cinema was not that great. The last two movies I saw in the Dolby Cinema actually were not that great because of that.
How was the present?
Was it the experience or was it the movie?
It was the movies. I mean, we saw John Wick 3, which was okay. And then we saw the Halloween remake, which was not good. Zach is softening on it now for some reason, but
it has its moments, but it's
does it? Good.
Yeah, it has moments like Lori being an absolute mess, being an alcoholic, like seeing her character progress. That's the good part about it. That's it.
Well, you love the punch bowl scene.
Spoilers.
No, I hate the punch bowl scene.
I don't know. There's not a lot to say about this. I don't remember who shared it with our group, but I think I did. Yeah, it was you that shared it. So what spurred you to share it outside of what we've already talked about?
I mean, it's basically saying that they're gonna at least be around.
Yeah, and we already knew that.
So because
had their money worked out.
The word prior to this was, they may not even last the year.
I felt like a lot of that was from naysayers.
Yeah, I believe we talked about I believe sometime a month ago we talked about the rumor that Amazon may be looking to circle around and snipe it up.
Yeah,
but
it wouldn't. I don't know if it would have been the worst thing to happen, but I'm kind of glad that they worked something else out, because I support that separation.
Yeah,
studio and theater. I already have fear that Disney's just going to say screw this and build their own theaters. Although, you want to talk about the worst decision making of any large company right now, Disney opening the theme parks is crazy to me.
I have friends that went day one and they were like, there is no one here.
I've been obsessively watching.
Yeah, Nico's sister went to Epcot.
Well, my sister went on a cast preview, which is likely even going to be even more low numbers. And I mean, it does seem like everyone there is unmasked, and they are very heavily limiting the number down to like a sixth of the capacity of the parks. It's definitely pretty spacious, but still, I wouldn't do it. Oh, and one of Tina's worst parts about it, apparently in the Haunted Mansion ride, the queue room where the room stretches and reveals the portraits, you don't stop there. Yeah, you have to keep going.
Yeah, I feel like that they're only open right now.
Unacceptable!
Oh God!
Wow.
I was waiting for Zach's reaction to that.
Basically, I feel like they're only open for locals. They don't. I would wager they don't even want people to travel to there. But I feel like they're open to try to get
locals
that local money.
And reservation holders that
have been through it a million times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of that community is just very heavily suffering because Disney is what brings a lot of people in. So I think very much so the employee base can still stay operating. People can still come and make money. So I understand that. Mm-hmm. I do like that they are taking measures to try to minimize as much as they can. I still personally would not go.
I've been weirdly obsessed with theme park videos right now, watching the theme parks that are open and seeing videos of how they're doing it.
I love the Japanese theme park where it's like scream inside your heart.
Yeah. Don't screaming on the rides, just scream inside your heart. And also, speaking of going back to Disney, Hong Kong shut back down, I think.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. I was watching a video of the Universal Studios in Florida, and there was a situation where a woman wouldn't put her mask on, and the management of the ride she was in line for came over and we're going to put her out of the park.
Yeah.
So they are not
Good.
Universal's not screwing around. They are not playing with it. So
These people who are refusing to wear masks and think that they can get away with it is like, you're stupid.
Mm-hmm. You go to the theme park, especially.
Stupid.
Yep. I mean, I guess I could see the temptation of it a little bit if you live not like next to it, because it's so dead. Like as slow as Disney is, I bet if you went on a Monday morning at 9 when they open, it would probably even way slower.
I'd say early morning hours are probably going to be bigger than, say, mid-afternoons or around lunches.
Either way, there's too many things. Honestly, as a trip kind of thing, there's too many things. Even if you wanted to risk your life, there's too many things that they've taken away because of it right now. I just feel like it's missing.
Yeah,
so
and
many things.
especially like you said, from the non-local standpoint, how difficult it is to just travel right now.
Mm-hmm.
It would not be worth it unless you are there already and you're just coming and going from your home.
Yeah,
But-
and there are some states that are restricting travel. Like, I think Maine, Vermont, some of those are restricting travel. They won't let anybody from Tennessee in.
Yeah,
And-
Nashville Tennessee just got banned by New York State.
Yeah.
Or New
So
York
it's
City.
like, then you have the state's restrictions coming into play, which honestly, I don't blame them. Florida's never going to do it because it's Florida. But
For sure.
it's like, yeah, you could not pay me to go to Disney right now. You cannot pay me to go anywhere that has more than 100 people, 50 people.
Dude, you could pay me to go to
Max.
Disney right now.
Oh,
Are you kidding me? How much
okay.
we talking?
If you're paying me enough,
How much we talking?
Yeah, I would put on a hazmat suit and just go. If you
Yeah.
pay me.
$100,000
I'll be dressed up. I'll be dressed up like Jude Law in Contagion with that inflated bubble top.
Yep.
No, what you need to do, because it's Disney, you have to dress up as the Monsters Inc. Decontamination Squad.
That's it. That's the move.
I'm going to be dressed up as Baymax.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly. But it's like, yeah, you can pay me to go to Disney. I'll just come back home. We can stay in here for a couple weeks. We're good. Got a couple G's in the
Unless, you
pocket.
actually do get COVID and then have to go to the hospital.
Yeah,
But
Well, we
And
got
end
those
up with
G's to
scarring on your
compensate
lungs.
for-
Stupid. Which that brings us to a side note. I know it's diverging, but you guys watched Contagion this past week.
Yeah, we finally bit the bullet and watched it.
I feel like this is something that comes up every couple episodes. Like, one of us has now watched Contagion, and so we have to talk about it. I think
Yeah.
we're at the point, is it all of us now?
All of us
Yeah, I
have.
think so.
I watched it
We-
first, then Zach, and now you guys.
Now us. Yeah, we had watched two horror movies. Before that, we watched 13 Ghosts because Nico had never seen 13 Ghosts, which he only came in like the last half. And then we watched Lights Out. And then we watched Contagion.
Well, so you watched one good movie.
I like 13 Ghosts, okay?
Lights
I like
Out
the
was
whole
okay.
Black Zodiac kind of deal.
I know.
But no, Contagion was the scariest thing I've seen the
Yeah.
whole weekend. It was
Like,
terrifying
just that
because
opening
it's true.
Just that opening scene where people are touching things and just...
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh my god, I've seen people do this.
Well, and certain things like stand out, like their use of the term "are not."
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
Not something other than that movie I was familiar with until nowadays, and I'm like, oh, okay, I know that now.
Yeah.
And
It even mentioned social distancing, wearing masks, washing hands,
Yep.
everything.
So when I grasp at straws for something positive about our current situation, at least people are watching one of my favorite Soderbergh movies. I've always loved that movie. I think
It is an
It's a
excellent
great
movie.
Yeah.
I think the cast is outstanding. It might be 10 or 15 minutes too long, but I love it so
I
much.
didn't feel it.
Yeah, no, there wasn't a point where I was not engaged with the movie. I was constantly on the edge of my seat. I agree with the cast. I think it was excellent. I loved how very ensemble it was. Like there was no one star character. It was everyone.
Hated Jude Law. Like we're
everyone hates Jude Law.
Oh my god!
Gosh.
I can't.
So great.
I can't fault the movie for not really getting Jude Law to have his comeuppance, but I really wanted him to get screwed. Yeah, I really wanted him to get.
I love that ending scene where they show exactly how the virus started.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Because you kind of forget about that part by the end of the movie. It's like, holy crap. Oh, here we go. Here it is. So everything in the movie has happened outside of Matt Damon's story. So I just keep waiting. I'm prepared because I've seen the movie. It's a documentary for me.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So who's got the next story?
I have another one. So if you want some lightheartedness, and still we don't know about seeing movies in theaters, such as A24's and directors David Lowery's The Green Knight, which is a cinematic reimagining of the Arthurian legend of the Green Knight. If you want something to at least look forward to, A24 has a role-playing game for you. Featuring The Green Knight, a fantasy role-playing game, now available on A24's website, shop.a24films.com for $35. The description of the game reads as, quote, an epic reimagining of the classic Arthurian tale. What begins as a game will become an odyssey into the unknown to prove thy worth in the eyes of the kingdom. From the hallowed halls of Camelot to the mysterious wilds of the fabled Green Chapel, embark on a mythical journey in search of the Green Knight. With honor at stake, will you rise to meet the challenge? Crown a game master, choose your character, knight, noble, hunter, sorcerer, or bard, and then test your honor on a merciless quest. Every choice matters as you face deranged highwaymen, ghostly damsels, mythical creatures, and more. But be warned. The Green Knight's challenge is not for the faint of heart. Prove yourself worthy, or off with thy head. The game will come with, game comes with a Game Master's Guide, including extra quests, a map, 5 character sheets already built, and a D20 die.
I'm laughing at Tina because she's hiding like behind her. She looks like a
the
black
dog
ninja.
farted real bad.
I figured that's what it was the moment I saw her hoodie up on her nose. It's like, oh, okay, shadow farted.
So let me ask you, what I didn't know anything about this Green Knight thing until you posted the story.
Oh, really? The trailer came out. It was an A24.
It was like the last trailer A24 released before all hell broke loose.
I don't know if I've seen this trailer. I've got to go look it up.
Dev Patel is the main character in it. It is a very Arthurian-esque feel. That very kind of dark, almost gothic feel that A24 would bring to something like this. So I was really excited when I saw the trailer, and I really want to see the movie. Yeah, it's definitely something up my alley. And I will probably check out the game once it comes out. I'll probably find some more reviews on it to see if it's interesting. It's straight up definitely, chasing up D&D's bandwagon.
I was gonna say it sounds like a D&D adventure.
Yeah, all the character classes are very similar to D&D classes. It even plays with a D20. So yeah, it's straight. The movie is already something that's in my camp. This is already something that's in my camp. This is the most A24 marketing something to Nico film ever. I just really want this to be a line of things that A24 does. I want the Midsommar RPG to come out next.
Oh, I would play that. Would play that.
Can I be the bear?
You know what? You go right ahead and be the bear. That's fine. Because you're unbearable.
Don't be spoiling. Tina hasn't seen the movie yet.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
I know that there's a bear.
Yeah, she hasn't seen it.
Yeah, remember, that's our first thing we're watching when we convene back. Yeah.
Well, hey, the good news is we'll have the director's cut, so you can see the good version.
Supposedly shipping out in 5 days. Supposed to ship out by the 20th. Yeah. Well, this is cool. I love what A20 like with Midsommar, that special edition, and now with this game promoting the movie. I think that's amazing.
I really hope
if it's in
there should be once the movie's out, and this could have been maybe an idea for the box set of the movie pre-pandemic, and then they turned it around. I want to know the genesis of this idea. I would love to find out how this gets made.
Yeah.
But this honestly sounds like what should be the Green Knight movie box set. Like get the Blu-ray and the role-playing game all in one box.
And they still might do that down the line.
Yeah.
And that would be pretty amazing.
What's going to be really funny is if the movie comes out and it just sucks.
That would be.
I
mean,
I am going to be really depressed if this movie just goes straight to VOD.
I doubt it'll go straight to VOD. I bet they're still going to wait for it for theaters. But it could be Lighthouse. It could unfortunately be another Lighthouse situation.
An overhyped mess.
And it was a terrible movie.
It's like I rewatched that. Just let's give it another shot. Let's really give it. No, it loses itself.
No, you love that movie. You love that movie.
I was about to say, Zach, you would loudly quote that thing at the most.
Yeah, I can quote
annoying
I can quote a good
times.
scene. Don't get on me for that.
If I could just get a supercut that's every Willem Dafoe tirade and soliloquy and monologue.
The rest.
Skip the rest.
Great.
That's it. Yeah. Like those are the best parts. Willem Dafoe, and it looks great, and everything else could go.
I agree. All right, so let me pull the script. I don't even have the script pulled up. Let me pull it up. See where we are right now.
Texas TV with Zach.
And now we're at TV. Does anybody else have anything TV-wise that they didn't talk about earlier?
You want to tell me about the Golden State Killer?
Oh,
series?
yeah. So, shoot. What is it called?
I am wanting to read the book.
So it's I Will Disappear in the Dark or something like that. I can't remember the name of it.
I Will Be Gone in the Dark.
I Will Be Gone in the Dark. And I was excited when I saw that this was already on because it's 3 episodes in. So I've watched all 3 of the initial episodes. And it's the wife of the comedian, the one
Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt. Yeah. So the story I was right away interested in, as far as, I mean, basically this is somebody who has raped 50 women from the 70s through the 80s and killed at least a dozen of them.
Yeah, 13 murders at least, more than 50 rapes, over 100 burglaries between like 74 and 85, 86, something like that.
So the woman,
and he was a former cop, everybody.
So what? Don't spoil. I don't know the end of the story.
It's been in the news. It's been in the news for the past 3 months.
I have not been. Son of a bitch.
You know
I
what?
mean, longer than
Midsummer's
that.
been out for over a year. I think we should spoil that in.
Well, longer than that, because this was actual news over the past year.
Well,
2
okay.
years.
So yeah, and you kind of know. Like I honestly hadn't seen the news, but I don't follow this stuff quite as close as you do, Tina.
Hi.
But I was fairly certain that the guy had been caught. That's why we would have a complete story arc.
Yeah, that's truly what it is. Is that the I forget her name, but like you said,
So
Oswald's wife.
Her first name is Alice.
Yes.
And basically, what happened was, and she's a brilliant woman. I mean, her level of investigation is incredible, what she does. And she started a personal blog, kind of blogging about the search and how it was affecting her family and stuff like that, her obsession, and a podcast that she did along with it. Mm-hmm. And then she was approached by a magazine, I think it was the New Yorker, to do an article. So they did the article, and Kiara and I, who's a regular viewer of the show, and I had a pretty lengthy discussion on social media about the series, because I don't like it. I'm going to stay with it because I want to know how it ends. But the problem with the series is it's kind of told in the way that the personal blog is. And in a personal blog, it's one thing. You're talking about your own experience. You're talking about what you're going through as you're doing the research and stuff like that. But when you're watching the series, you're seeing what this person did and all the work that Alice was doing to find him. And then it would stop and talk about for 10 minutes who's cooking freaking Thanksgiving dinner and stupid personal stuff that makes the series off balance.
Important to the plot.
Yeah, it's like, oh, me, it's about me. I'm Alice, it's about me. And I'm like,
well,
you're amazing, but it is not about you. It's about... You
can argue that that's bringing in the realization to the audience of they're like, yes, this horrible spree is happening, but their life still has to go on, and they are constantly living through this horrible hunting season.
Counterpoint, relevance.
Yeah, that's my problem, is relevance, because this is one of the reasons that I said this to Kiara, this is one of the reasons I've never liked Michael Moore as a filmmaker and a documentarian, because he tends to put himself in the spotlight along with the subject. And that's what this series... And a lot of times
it's irrelevant to what's going on.
Yeah, and this 90% of this is irrelevant to the actual story of this person. I would rather hear more about her investigation and the work she did. They introduce at one point an assistant to help her, and all they do is introduce this person. You don't see them again or know what they did, because there's so much time dedicated in each episode to text messages from Patton telling her she's awesome and doing a badass job. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care of what Patton Oswalt has to say.
So I thought the series was going to be based off the books, because the book was written by a friend of theirs, Michelle McNamara.
So I don't know. I know that the book happened, but now the book that she's writing all during this series, she's writing it. Because, Kiara and I were having this discussion, and I said, this woman, the funny part of the movie is her friend says, oh, Alice is not a me person at all.
Well, Michelle McNamara is the one.
Oh, you're cutting out real bad.
Who is who wrote the book and me?
Yeah, you're
okay.
Cutting out
Am I
very
good?
bad.
Oh, yeah. Well, you pop back in. So Michelle McNamara, I don't know.
How's now?
I don't know.
I think good.
Maybe. Oh,
had a weird teleportation moment just there.
Oh, he popped out. Maybe he'll come back. I'll keep an eye on him before he pops back in. So the thing is, her friend says she's not a me person, but then we have to spend several minutes of her texting and talking about how she's jealous of her husband's book and afraid she's not going to be as good. And I'm like, I don't care.
I can see that being a complete, not buzzkill, because the subject's not really that kind of vain, but yeah, I can see how that would take you out of the narrative of the Golden State Killer.
And I don't necessarily blame her in a way. I almost feel like this thing's going to be 6 episodes, and I almost feel like it probably should have been 3. And they're filling a little bit, which to me it's not working. I want to see how it goes. I want to see how she finds him, all this stuff. So I'm going to stay with it, but it's nothing compared to some of the other stuff. It's nothing compared to McMillions, which was an incredible HBO
we still
documentary.
need to watch that.
Oh my God, so good.
So good. So freaking good.
That movie, that series just has you like riveted the whole time. That's highly recommended.
There were some weeks where I'm like, damn it, we gotta wait a week.
Yeah. Well, I started it 2 weeks behind, so I had 2 episodes back to back, and then I got screwed.
I hated you for that.
Killed me. All right, who's got a Zach? You got the first story in TV.
Yeah. So is anyone here subscribed to Quibi?
Nathan was.
No.
Negative.
Nathan.
That tells you everything you need to know.
Well,
he might still be. I don't know.
Well, it turns out Quibi isn't doing that great. The short form streaming service launched back in April, right in the middle of coronavirus, and it wasn't too good a content provider that was hoping to give commuters movies and shows to watch in bite-sized chunks. Okay, immediately I can tell you, bad. Especially when the programming was made specifically for consumption on mobile devices. Strike 2.
Vertical video.
It wasn't able to be played on televisions. 3. Now that the 3-month trial free trial period for Quibi users has ended, the service has reportedly lost over 90% of their initial subscriber base. Only
Ouch!
72,000 of them remain after originally it being 910,000 users.
Ooh, that hurts. That's painful.
That means they are only able to convince around 8% of their subscribers to convert to paying customers. Who could have foreseen this coming? I mean, it only had 3 strikes out of the starting gate, like a shotgun blast to the leg.
I did want to see, because the ad that I've seen for Quibi, the show ad that they use is they have a Most Dangerous Game rendition.
I wanted to see that too.
But I don't care about committing to the service to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But my thought process the moment I saw it is, this service is going to end, so this show is going to go somewhere else. Like, something will maybe possibly pick it up because there's names in it, so it's worth something. So I'll watch it there.
Or it'll end in a cliffhanger and be an incomplete story, and I don't want to see that anyway.
Yeah.
That too.
Plus, I mean, they were shooting themselves in the foot with, the pandemic, because ideally it was for the commuters, the people who are on trains or subways or
like 2 cities.
But nobody's doing that anymore. We're all work from home pretty much. And the people who do go to work, they're driving. They don't have the time or the availability.
Well, I also think there's some other issues with it, right, Zach? In the article,
many.
There was some other problems,
there was.
You can't throw it through the Apple TV onto your TV.
No, it's completely unavailable in any streaming services, streaming boxes outside of your phone. And then correct me if I'm wrong, are these vertical video shows as well?
Yes.
They look like vertical video shows.
They are vertical videos.
Okay, well, I'm not touching this even if it was free, then because that is
horrible.
That would be horrible to watch, yeah.
So my big thing is, I don't know. Like, I feel like they're trying to take the sort of...
Come on, Zoomer.
Yeah, they're trying to take the YouTube model to the next level, but I don't feel like narrative works in that YouTube format. Like, I'll watch a short 10-minute video that's not a narrative, like a news piece or some kind of commentary, or
here's how to cook something,
a theme park video.
Or here's worst drivers compilation. 112.
I mean, I'm the weird one here because I watch YouTube all the time. I watched a 4-hour video of a deconstruction of about 30 minutes of a movie the other day. But I'm an outlier in that.
We'll put on the 5.5-hour Darth Vader Yule log at Christmas.
Yeah,
yes.
That's weird because I'm usually like, between me and Zach, I'm the one with the longest attention span, no question. But when it comes to YouTube videos, if I see it more than 20 minutes, I'm probably going to back burner it because I've got so many other things I can watch.
Yeah, because I'm never browsing YouTube for a long form video. So if I was like, oh, that one's interesting. Oh, that's an hour and a half. Here's another thing. Let's go Ramsay cooking something for 10 minutes. I'm good with that.
Yeah. But when you're talking about narrative stuff, I feel like if it's like a 10-minute, 5-minute video or something, it's not long enough to invest. For me, it wouldn't be. And that's why I was never interested in Quibi. Even though the show you're talking about was right up my alley. That's my jam right there. I would love that. But I need it in an hour chunk. That kind of thing.
And by the way, I don't just sit around watching 4-hour-long videos.
You do.
The video in question was from a content creator who is typically putting out extremely long-form content. So when he put out a video that was 4 hours, I go... because that's just more of the same for me. If he put out a 10-minute video, it would be like, whoa, something's wrong, or he had to get something out quick. It would just be absolutely really weird for him to put that out.
Yeah, I don't. It's just so weird because I can watch a 3-hour movie. I could do it. I'm gonna have to pee like twice, but I could do it. But on a mobile device, I might watch stuff for 3 hours. But
or you're cooking dinner and listening to it, or
in 3 hours I'll watch 15 videos or something. It just doesn't work for me. I figured maybe that was just me, but it could
Zach,
be. Yep.
How how's the YouTube? Speaking of YouTube, how's the comments?
Oh,
Are we getting
I have one. It
Yes?
says testing.
Just double
Okay.
checking.
I wonder who did that one.
Steven forgets it.
Yeah, I've been flipping back and
It
forth.
looks like some asshole named Nicholas. I mean, what a name.
Yeah, I know, right?
Nicolas.
Nikolai.
Speaking of Nicholas, I've got a story next.
Nice.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do because I put
Yeah,
one
he
in.
does.
Oh.
He does. Yep.
I just put some basic text on this one because we forgot to add it in originally. The Batman director, Matt Reeves making the new The Batman movie for DC and Warner Brothers, is also developing a Batman-related spin-off based on the Gotham PD. It will take place in the same universe. It will be overseen by Reeves and Terrence Winter of Boardwalk Empire. It will be on, of course, HBO Max.
Surprise.
Hold on, can you say it a little
So
bit
yeah,
longer?
Yeah.
You're breaking up again.
I guess we didn't talk about this, huh?
another Gotham show, guys.
Whoa, you
Oh,
are having
Mr.
a
Robot.
bad time tonight, sir.
You
No.
are.
See, this just got her hand.
Mine's coming through pretty fine, though.
No, you sound great. You sound perfect.
Maybe I'm hogging all the internet.
No, it doesn't work like that with Zoom.
No, that's hilarious.
Oh, hold on.
He's struggling. Anyway,
We were
while
on the
he
wrong Wi-Fi network the whole
while he
time.
figures out what's happening, I'll just say he asked me about this. We didn't talk about this last week. This sounds so familiar to me.
No, we did not talk about this.
Okay, maybe we talked about it. I don't know. Anyway, I like this grouping of people that are working on it. Boardwalk Empire was a really good show, and if you're going to bring that like depth of character and style to this kind of like sort of secondary Batman series, I think it could be really cool.
It's funny because when I think of secondary Batman series, I think of something like Gotham that just was awful.
Am I coming through okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the wrong. It was on the wrong network.
I knew it! I knew it!
I don't know. I don't know how it switched, but it switched to our downstairs network.
That's hilarious.
Oof.
Yeah. I'm surprised it lasted this well.
Right?
Yeah.
So Gotham, I don't think Gotham was terrible. It just didn't grab me for some
Boy,
reason.
I watched like 4 episodes and I thought it was really bad.
What
So
I want is a in the vein of what is it? Midnight at Arkham or Arkham at Midnight, that comic series that was more dealing with like supernatural happenings in Gotham.
Of course,
City.
you would want that.
Yeah, of course.
Want that.
So I'm kind of curious because Gordon is Jeffrey Wright.
Mhm.
That's the actor who is we know from Westworld HBO series. Is he going to be in this show because it's got the PD?
Yeah, I mean, I think he should be.
Is this going to be the Brooklyn Nine-Nine of Gotham? Because that's what it should be.
See, I haven't watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine enough really to have an opinion. I know I need to watch it. I know.
But yeah, it is fascinating. I liked a good bit of Gotham, but I not enough to finish it. I did fall out of it. There were definitely concepts in it that were strong that started kind of meandering, and I felt like if it was like a shorter season, it would have helped a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't that I hated it. It just I didn't love it.
Well, because if there were shorter seasons, it didn't have to fan service as much in there. I think it would have been better.
Yeah, that was
especially
a serious problem from what I noticed was fan service was.
Especially the stuff dealing with Bruce as a kid and Selena, Catwoman, like that stuff I didn't really care about. Although I loved Alfred. Alfred in it was great. I liked when it was actual like cop stuff. It was actual like we're gonna focus on these weird, crazy crimes that are in Gotham. And if there was also less episode of the week and more of we're gonna spend some time working on this mystery or more on this corruption and stuff like that, I think it would have worked better.
Well, that's why I fell off with it because it was too episodic for me.
Yeah, but ultimately it lasted 5 seasons, so it's not like it bombed.
Yeah, people liked it. People watched it. Yeah, I feel like though this is a weird. It's one of like I like the people they have behind this attempt, but it's also one of those things that DC Warner Brothers just keeps throwing against a wall, hoping it'll stick eventually. And you would think that it would, because the opportunity for all these unique, like seedy underbelly type characters would be cool. And I don't know if they're going to tie it to the new Batman movie or not.
Well, they are. Well, I mean, you mean like actual plot wise, or is it just like it's peripheral and not?
No,
actually
if it's within the same universe.
Well, it is. That was what I said. It is in the same universe. It's same world. It's just I don't know how much they're going to tie it into the plot of the Batman or anything that spills out of it, or is it just very peripheral? We're off to the side doing we're doing general cop stuff, but it's Gotham.
Yeah. I mean, it's on HBO Max, so I'll give it a go for sure.
Yeah,
I'll give it my 3-episode try.
Thanks, Steven, because when you said the pasta analogy, now I just have Batman is the spaghetti of the DC universe. Now I want that on a t-shirt.
Spaghetti is delicious.
That must have been when I was out.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of linguine over spaghetti.
It's
like that. It's that nice middle ground between fettuccine and spaghetti.
Well, it depends on what you're doing, what the sauce is. Like if I'm making traditional spaghetti marinara, I actually like vermicelli for my pasta.
Oh, okay.
I like angel hair.
I was gonna say if I can get it, I like angel hair, but it's the hardest pasta to make. Also,
because if you mess it up, it's disgusting.
And if you mess it up cooking it, it turns into a blob.
Yeah, found that out one time.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave it boiling, it's fine. Oh no.
So if you go to an Italian place and they actually have angel hair on the menu, that's a legit place. Angel hair and Batman. That makes it a legit place.
Angel hair is the Superman of the pasta.
That's true.
Because it's the hardest to get right.
And it's the kryptonite of Zach's house, apparently.
Seriously, the last time I made it, I think was like 2015.
It's been a minute since I've had it. All right, moving on.
All right, now it's me. So Scream Factory has now officially announced that they're releasing a 12-film, 16-disc Friday the 13th complete collection to Blu-ray on October 13th of 2020. The collaboration with Paramount Studios and New Line Cinema will be a Region A release, and Scream Factory provides us with some early details along with box art. So housed in a new collectible rigid slipcover case and packed with hours and hours and hours and hours of new and existing special features, this 16-disc set includes all 12 Friday the 13th films. And the company explains each film inside the slipcover packaging will receive a dedicated Blu-ray case featuring original theatrical artwork, similar to how they presented the Halloween, the Omen, Sly, Critters box sets. Some films in the set will have reversible sleeves with alternative cover art, giving you the option to swap them around. New and existing extras from prior home entertainment releases are in progress and will be revealed in full on a later date. And I mean like TV spots, Friday's Legacy horror conventions, audio commentary with actors Larry Zenner, Paul Kratka, Richard Brooker, and Dana Kimmel.
We get some director's cuts of some of the films.
Director cuts, Lost Tales from Camp Blood Part 4, vintage Fangoria magazine article, all kinds of stuff. I mean, when I say hours and hours, like tons.
And
I'm impressed that.
Go ahead.
I'm impressed that Freddy vs. Jason is in it too,
and the remake.
Yeah, the remake too. I was I was curious if the remake was in there. That was the one I was thinking may not be.
Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah, but the Freddy vs. Jason one, I didn't even think that was going to be in there because I'm always curious about the rights issue for that kind of crossover.
Yeah, because that one was such a battle to even be made.
Yeah, so the fact that it goes with this one, so I'm guessing. I wonder if Nightmare has a similar set.
So interesting about that, because Zach and I had this discussion. I'll tell you kind of what happened this week too. It's been funny in regard to this particular release, but we had this discussion because they put this one out, which for listeners, I'm holding up the Halloween box, and now they're doing basically it's the same kind of box, the rigid box. It's got you know, a nice book on the inside, whatever. They're doing this for Friday the 13th now, and we were both saying, you know, they need to do this for Nightmare. It's the last big franchise, and now that's the rumor. Like, I don't know if it's fans pushing it or if it's the next thing. But now what I'm reading is that because of these movies, they've developed this relationship with people from New Line, and that could easily be the next step. And I hope it's true.
It needs to happen. The only Nightmare on Elm Street kind of box set out there is this really, it's just a little bit bigger Blu-ray set. It has 2 movies on 1 disc on some of them. And it's just, you flip through and there's no cover
the
art.
8-film collection,
it's just kind of a bare bones. It's not bare bones, but it feels
I have it,
bare
but
bones.
there could be more to it.
It goes on sale for like $20 all the time.
Yeah.
And
so the last great set for them that they put out though was in 99, I think, or 2000, and it was a DVD set, and the spines all lined up to make, you see it sometimes around it, they lined up to make Freddy.
I remember that set.
That was a big set, and that was the last time that movie was given any kind of premium treatment. So here's what happened. I guess Zach and I both have Shout Factory.
Hold on, let me I only have a little more blurb.
Okay, go.
So, and it's information that might be relevant to anybody looking to purchase it. The set is selling for $159.98, so roughly $160, and only
$174 with shipping.
And only 13,000 units are being made. This includes a 40-page collectible essay booklet with archival still photography, and they said more will be announced soon. All right,
I love this 13,000.
So I actually think that's a misprint. I don't think it's 13,000.
That was
1,300.
It's 1,313 is my understanding of what happened.
That's even better. That's even better.
That's what it is 13. But here's what happened. This is funny. So Zach and I both have them, I guess, on our social media, and they popped up, and Zach's texting me like, "Oh my God, did you see this set?" Whatever. And at the same time, I'm looking at it on Facebook. Well, I don't know if you realized it, but I was clicking through the Shout Factory website and hitting pre-order. I was ordering it, right?
You were like one step ahead of you, girl.
Yep. So because that first 1,300, there's going to be more, but the first 1,313 comes with a full-size lobby poster and a lithograph. And I don't really necessarily care as much about that stuff, although I will say to have it matching my Nightmare post or my Texas Chainsaw poster and getting some signatures would be cool. But I wanted to make sure and get in that first run of them. Well, that was in the morning. By midday, their site was crashed.
Yeah.
So,
like, they were crunched, and they sold through those. They sold them all that morning. So they added more. They bumped it up to 7,000. And the last I saw, those were close to gone, but not quite. As of this Wednesday evening at whatever time it is, there were still a few left because they did bump it to 7,000. Of these sets, and if you look up this particular Halloween set now online, you're going to pay through the nose for it because and that's exactly what's going to happen with this set. And it's a beautiful set. I put it up on screen for a second. I can't wait to get it. I mean, that it comes out October 13th, and that will be my part of my 30 days of Halloween, I'm sure. But here's a funny thing that happened, ironically, is Paramount, for some reason, sent me this steelbook this week for the first film. And I'm like, okay, thanks. So this is actually, it's a new 4K scan. I wonder if this is the one that they're using for the box set. I'm sure it must be, right?
That's the only disappointing thing about this box set is that they did new 4K scans for 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I think the rest get 2Ks. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, I really wish they had a UHD option. I mean,
see, it's going to be the same as what happened with this Halloween set. The only one that we have in this set that they put out later in 4K was the first one, and I'm fine with that. If they put out, let's say, the first and fourth Friday the 13th in 4K, I'd be fine with that.
But you're going to get maybe the first in 4K, like you just said.
Yeah,
maybe.
and I'll be okay. As long as the Blu-rays look really good, I'll be all right with it.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think those movies have ever really looked good.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be the
they
best
were
I've
shot
ever looked.
Really cheap.
Yeah. But I mean, it's pretty crazy because it got me looking, and I found a video of all of the collector sets of movies coming out this year. If you're a physical media fan, what's interesting is
Oh my god, so many 4Ks
there's so
announced.
many.
It's like, holy shit.
There's so many 4Ks, so many restorations, and because we don't have any new movies in the theater, it's giving these studios time to do catalog releases. And now I struggle with the fact that they're putting out this beautiful looking Alfred Hitchcock 4K box set. And I just bought like 3 months ago this great set on Blu-ray.
You know what's really going to hurt you?
What?
That new set has the full uncut version of Psycho.
I know.
Has not been in print.
That new set also doesn't have all the movies this set has. So I have the sneaking suspicion I'm going to wind up with both sets on my shelf. But there's a Goonies set coming out in a treasure chest that looks amazing. There's so many cool things coming out. It's just a really
the problem
great.
with that is it's the Goonies.
You mean one of the best movies of the 80s?
You mean an overrated as fuck movie?
No, I mean one of the greatest childhood movies of the 80s. That's what I mean. So if you so here's
sorry, I want to explain that Tina ordered the Friday the 13th box set in the middle of your conversation.
Oh, did you get it?
Sent me a screenshot.
Digital high five! Bam! So did you see the lithograph and poster? Because they are beautiful.
Yes,
They're beautiful.
Gorgeous. They're going up above the TV where we have our movie sets.
Send me a screenshot of the poster.
Okay.
It's like really pretty.
Oh, so pretty.
And if we ever get back to the world of conventions, I'm gonna start carrying it with me for signatures and let it match my Texas Chainsaw poster. It'll be
that'd be nice.
Fantastic. Yeah. So there's a ton of stuff coming out, but if you want to get stuff today, as of this week, there's actually a crap ton. I don't have the whole list here. There's so many catalog things coming out. Here's one other thing that's interesting, worth mentioning, is Tuesday, Criterion Collection put out Bruce Lee's Greatest Hits. And if you're a fan of Bruce Lee, it's like his best films in a Criterion Collection. And I was curious about it because they had this same set come out in China, and I didn't know if there were new scans or whatever. Apparently, these are new Criterion scans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I know that Shout Factory put out a few of these movies. Shout Factory put out Game of Death and a couple of others, so I was wondering. But yeah, according to everything that I've been reading, these are new scans. So it came out, and here's what's interesting, is that box set is $125 retail. Right now, the Criterion Collection sale is going on. You can get it for $65. But I chose the Friday the 13th box set for now because I know there will be another Criterion sale this fall, and I'll pick that one up then. But apparently, you can't hardly find this thing. It's selling out everywhere, this Bruce Lee collection. Because
it released in the middle of a Criterion sale.
And it's probably one of, in the last, I don't know, year maybe a couple of years.
It's the first Criterion release I go, I'm going to get that.
Exactly, because they went so... I love art house movies, but they went so aggressively art house in the last few years. It's like, nah, no. But yeah, this one I'm going to have.
And
so
then today they announced Parasite.
You're so mad about this.
I'm
Zach is so
pissed
mad.
off about it because luckily, thank God.
But you knew it wasn't. You knew it wasn't going to be 4K. You knew.
There is no excuse when a 4K exists that you don't come out with a 4K and you're like, they put out there, it's like new 4K restoration. I'm like, is there any? It just came out last year. How can there be a new 4K restoration? Were they not happy with the 4K that came out?
I don't know.
It seems like that's just a selling point because it has a 4K master.
Yeah. Well,
so
and
this will include like the black and white version and a couple extra interviews.
But it isn't as feature rich as I would have hoped.
It's if it was really feature rich, I would have been like, yeah, I gotta get it. But I bought this 4K that's going to be better in picture quality for cheaper than what the 1080p is.
That is why I told you when you messaged me that I have to wait for the reviews because what is it, Pan's Labyrinth that's out in 4K?
That's different.
The Criterion is way better. The Criterion Blu-ray crushes the Pan's Labyrinth 4K.
That's different.
So I just want to.
One is they had an old DVD master and they put that up in 2K, and the other one was they got the Guillermo del Toro and the director of photography in there, and we're like, hey, we want to make sure that we do this right. The other one was a cash grab. This one is like completely redone.
Yeah,
Now,
well, fortunately, I haven't made the purchase, so I can compare.
They have the same files, and until it comes
I
out.
wish your cat would just shit right in your face right now. Zach has
I like
a cat.
that. I like that Zach's cat is in the forefront, and occasionally I'm seeing our dog in the background of Tina.
Perfect. My animals are not allowed in my room because
they want to. They're nice when they go in there.
Yeah,
you just gotta keep an eye on them.
Right. Okay. So other things that are out this week: Enter the Fat Dragon.
What did you say about me?
I think that's Donnie Yu. I think is. Yeah, Donnie. I can't remember. Kiss of Vampire Collector's Edition is out this week. Clueless 25th Anniversary is out this week.
Not gonna lie, I want it.
Buy them. There it is. Paramount sent this to me. The review is up on CultureSmash.tv right now. If you have the 2014 Blu-ray, you are fine. This is literally, I'm so annoyed by it. It's the 2014 Blu-ray dropped in a steelbook.
I mean, if you don't want it, I'll take it.
No, I don't have the original Blu-ray, so I'm happy to have it on my shelf. But it has.
I'm not a fan of repackagings.
This is literally a repack. All the extras are from 2005, and they're in SD. They're 4x3.
Oh God!
Yeah, everything. There's no commentary. There's nothing special about this 25th anniversary except if you buy the steelbook.
It's dumb. I mean,
there has only been one repackage I seriously thought about getting.
Yeah.
Is the Avatar: The Last Airbender? There's a
steelbook. The steelbook.
Oh my God!
It's a beautiful set.
So beautiful.
So I mean, here's the thing: if you don't own it already, you can get this thing for $15, which is a great buy. Like I would buy the 2014 of this for $15 brand new. So I mean, the fact that it's in a steelbook, that's cool. So you can get that at Best Buy. But don't expect anything new because it's literally all the original bonus features. Nothing celebrating 25 years. Nothing.
You've had 3 months. Alicia Silverstone's not doing anything right now. Paul Rudd's not really doing anything right now. You could have just like, hey guys, watch the movie and record something. We'll put it together.
Exactly. So here's a fascinating thing. I forget the name of the movie. I was looking at some stuff coming out from a company called Vinegar Syndrome. And they literally had bonus features they were finalizing in March before the thing just came out. And there's people on Zoom interviews talking about they had to do it that way because of COVID. So literally their bonus features are recorded so tight to the production of the release. Surely Paramount could do something. Anyway, I'm disappointed because it's 25 years and there's nothing special about it. But the transfer is okay. It's a little soft. It's a 2014 looking transfer, and the sound is fine. It's just, but it's a really great movie. I love Clueless. I loved Alicia Silverstone when this movie came out. So
plus, I'm always a fan of the ones like the modern retelling of like classic literature.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and what I love about this movie is she did Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which was kind of commentary on teenagers of that era, and then she does this movie in the mid-90s going completely against the grain of what teenagers were doing at that point in time and trying to make a statement to them about being clueless, but also trying to make them have a little fun because her commentary is about people that it's the grunge age and at the end of the grunge era and all that stuff, and like her whole like interview is probably the best thing on there, talking about how she's like, you guys need to have some fun, so it's a cute movie. It's good. I think it deserves a Paramount Presents release, to be honest with you. Also, you can get 12 Monkeys, the complete series. I hear it was pretty good. That was on Sci-Fi, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a Sci-Fi show.
Yep. And then the Legion of Superheroes complete series, I'll be looking for that one, is also out this week. And there's a crap ton more stuff. I'll try and post some stuff up on CultureSmash.tv. There's a bunch of anime, catalog anime and stuff that came out this week. Obviously, no new releases. But there are some new release comics, right? We have new comics.
Yeah, we've got some comics out this week. Not much on the DC side, honestly, but Marvel's got some big stuff out. They've been leading into their Empire Summer Blockbuster event for the last month, pretty much. But now the official issue 1 of the 6-issue main miniseries is out this week, which is basically their big cosmic story arc with the Avengers and the Fantastic Four dealing with the Kree and the Skrulls. So good classic Marvel space fare. We also have a giant-sized X-Men Magneto #1. So if you're a fan of Jonathan Hickman's work on X-Men for the last couple of years now, he's featured that one with Magneto. If you want something that's also kind of Arthurian legend-esque after our Green Knight discussion, Kieran Gillan has a series from Boom Studios called Once and Future, dealing with Merlin magic and stuff like that in the modern day, and that's issue 9 is out.
Oh, cool.
If you like G.I. Joe,
like Tina
yeah.
like that.
If you like G.I. Joe, Snake Eyes has a new book, Snake Eyes Dead Game from IDW, issue 1, written by Rob Liefeld, known from fame of X-Force, creating Deadpool. And
he can't draw feet.
Yeah, and can't draw feet. That's a true story.
Yeah.
And over at Image Comics, Savage Dragon, one of the original Image titles to start back in the mid-90s when the studio was created, hits issue 250. It is the second Image book to have reached that far, with the first one being Spawn. So it's a pretty big hallmark for that title.
That's kind of awesome.
Yep.
So that Snake Eyes comic is just like a picture book, right? You know, just pictures.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't talk. Yeah, it's got
he doesn't talk.
Yeah, you're right. He's got other characters who will talk. It's just Snake Eyes won't. I assume.
I always like that about Snake Eyes. He didn't overstay his welcome.
No.
He just kicked ass and then like took off.
Yep.
All right. Well, cool. There's a lot of comics to read anyway. I'm reading the new Jack Reacher book. And
good.
It's, action packed and full of like overdone machismo, which is kind of entertaining. Tina, are you still reading a book? What are you reading?
Yeah. Right now I'm reading Next Year in Havana. So the challenge that I'm doing, each book is assigned a prompt. So this prompt is a story that takes place in a country starting with C. The next one I'm really interested in because it is a book with the same title as a movie or TV show, but unrelated. So I'm reading The Nanny, which is a horror story thriller. So not the Fran Dresser.
That's hilarious. That's a
but she does the audiobook.
Dude, that'd be amazing.
That would be incredible. So, real quick, like I forgot to mention in TV that I did finish 24, so I moved on to another series, or I moved back to Doom Patrol.
Okay.
In the comic books tip. Have you guys not started that yet?
We have
not yet. I've heard really good things, but I've not started it yet.
You guys, it's so
hey,
bizarre.
You guys.
It's hey you guys. It's speaking of Goonies. It's got to be like the biggest, like the most bizarre. Like I don't know if the comic book was this way or not, but just
Doom
when
Patrol,
I think
some of the iterations are very bizarre.
Guys, I mean, like I want to be able to say stuff, but I don't want to be too spoilery with the bizarreness because you got to experience it. Because just when I thought it was going to get, it was as bizarre as it could get, then there was season 2, and like it's wacky. It is wacky. I like it. Because you truly don't 100% know what's coming next because it's just so weird. I mean, yeah, you guys got to watch it. It's on HBO Max right now. There's only 2 seasons of it, but it makes me want to go and find. They have their own comic series, right?
Yeah, Doom Patrol's its own book.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a running Doom Patrol book right now, but I know.
I'd rather have a graphic novel anyway. I'd rather just find
the seminal Doom Patrol work is the Grant Morrison stuff. They came out, I think, either late 80s or early 90s. I forget, but like that time frame.
Well, you guys have got to at least try to squeeze in season 1. They're short seasons, so we can speak on it because, man, right. It's something else. All right. Anybody got any final thoughts before we scooch out of here?
Nope.
My puppy is adorable and sleeping.
So really quick, in the chat room, Michelle says that she's listening to The Sandman, the Neil Gaiman book, has been turned into a graphic or an audio book.
Sweet.
And she's been listening to it and loving it. She was like, I guess it's a comic book. I'm like, how dare you? I'm like, yes, it's a comic book, Michelle.
I guess it's a comic book. It's one of the most seminal titles of the 90s.
Time. Yeah, of all time. I mean, it's right up there.
It's very like, obscure.
Sandman basically made Vertical what it is. Oh man, I want to listen because it's like James McAvoy is Dream, so I think that would be really cool.
And I think, isn't there a TV series or something happening with it also?
Yeah, there's been works for Sandman for like the last decade. I don't know where it's at right now.
I thought we were closer on something.
I will believe it when I see a trailer.
Exactly, but I would love to hear it in audiobook form because a lot of other comics that I've listened to that have like they try to do audio versions of, it's such a visual art, you know. It's just to me it's hard to get it right.
And Sandman's particularly weird because it's very visual because so much of it is kind of surreal dream state.
Yeah, the only time I've kind of ever heard it done where I was like okay with it was in a radio play type of thing, where you would get some sound effects and maybe some more description of the setup. And
Marvel's done that. They've had like I think a 2-season Wolverine podcast, and they also recently adapted Marvel's the Kurt Busiek, Alex Ross, very photorealistic artwork kind of stuff was adapted into a radio play podcast too.
I think I picked up another Audible credit, so I might get this Sandman and listen to it. She's saying she's really into it because she's texted me a couple times about it, and then she just put it in our chat room. So maybe it's good, especially for someone who didn't really wasn't for sure it was even a comic.
That's the fascinating thing is that she discovered it without having Sandman background or knowledge.
Exactly. So that got me.
I would advise her, like after listening to it, go look up the artwork for it because the artwork is one of the best things.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful artwork. All right, let's bring this thing to an end. Nico, where do we find you on the internet, sir?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram under Nico Scream. That's NIKOSCREAM. If you're a video listener, it's on the name.
Tina?
You can find me 2 places. Cheddar Popper, both on Twitter and Instagram, CHEDRPOPPR. And then you can follow my puppy, who is adorable and has more followers than me now, at the.shadow.pupper.
Nice. Zach?
You can find me on Instagram. I am Master of the Matrix 91, and you can find me on Steam as a dangerous mute lunatic. And recently, I've been finally playing Dead by Daylight with these dumbasses. Nathan's not here, so I guess I'll just say dumbass. I also started playing Super Mario Odyssey. Oh, it's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna borrow that from you at some point when you're done with it.
It's really
good. I want to. I like the soundtrack a lot for the game. I've listened to it a lot, and what I've seen is really fun.
My quick review is basically: remember what fun and joy is? You remember that?
No, I don't.
If you don't remember, it's in this game.
Well, and he messaged that to me, and my response was, "It sounds like a baby game."
It's not like the first.
It's a Mario game.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's a Mario game. I mean, come on. It's not going to be like, oh yeah, and then Princess Peach totally got railed by Bowser. No. But I mean,
bonus
that happens in
that happens
Mario
on the airship.
3D.
We don't know what happens on the airship, but I mean, it has its moments where you're like, oh god, this is so handholdy, and then the next moment you're like, oh shit, this level is like really difficult to traverse.
It's like there's some moments where it's like very handholdy, and then you realize, oh, I miss holding hands.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I have taken our dog's paw and just go, I want to hold your paw.
So you can find me also. I did post my Switch stuff, and I'll post it again on the Facebook. We are playing Dead by Daylight pretty regularly. We'll be doing that again this weekend for sure. As long as Zach doesn't piss everybody off too much. Because I think
that was so funny. It's like
Nathan is still.
They were in a non-winnable situation. If we were going to all lose, so I was like, I'm taking my stuff and leaving.
and then they were mad at me that I didn't sacrifice myself to save them.
I wasn't that mad. It was Nathan was pissed. But it was pretty, like, I don't know if you guys have played this, but the person who is Sarah, who is somebody that's close to the podcast, is Hector's daughter, was playing, and she was playing a killer that can be invisible when they don't move. And so she waited for us to get the generators done and camped in front of the exit door. And when we're all running for the door, she just appears and starts hacking the shit out of us as we're going in. And Nathan and I both got beat to death, and we were crawling on our bellies to try to get to the door. And Zach's like, bah.
I mean, y'all don't want to play with me then, because I am not good at team games.
Well,
Yeah.
Sarah wasn't that good with the team side of it either at first, but it's something you get used to because, honestly...
Oh, no, I mean, I'm selfish.
Well, I know, but there is a metagame to it where blood points are affected, and blood points are how you level. So there is that side of it. It's fun though, and it's surprisingly like dark for a Switch game. I mean, it can be very challenging sometimes, especially for a blind man.
The only thing I absolutely hate about it, and I know you're just like, oh, you're PC gamer or whatnot, but the frame rate is so low on the Switch. I mean, it's 24, 25 FPS. Meanwhile, Mario Odyssey is running 60 frames a second.
Mario Odyssey doesn't run online with a bunch of other people in the same game, though.
Mario Odyssey has better textures and bigger worlds.
Mario Odyssey is developed by Nintendo, also one of the premier game developers in the world.
You would think that behavior would, put a little effort into it. At least have a solid 30. I mean, anything below 30 is like really bad.
It doesn't bother me unless the servers are laggy. Then it gets to be more.
That's okay. I'll give you that. That's
when it's a problem.
When the servers lag and it's like you're jumping all around the map. I'll take the bad frame rate before I do that.
But you guys should get this game and play with us because it is a lot of fun, actually.
There's a steep learning curve, but we're there to help.
I don't find it that steep. I got it.
Well, you're like, what is this? How do I use this?
Well, there's a lot of bonuses and perks you can give yourself that you kind of have to get to know.
Yeah.
So when Zach plays as the killer, we go in and turn off all of his perks, and he gets so mad.
It's not fair.
He gets so triggered.
Okay, like
he gets so
part of the fun.
Okay, so
because there's like 50 perks, and you're like, I only get 4.
Yeah.
I'll take you and you.
And then a little message pops up on Zach's screen and all of his perks disappear, and it's the best
And then
thing.
I still massacre all of you.
He does not massacre. He did win 1. He did kill us all.
I killed everybody in 3 matches. What do you thought?
We were playing. Yeah. Anyway, find me at All Things Culture Smash. Also, Off the Shelf Movie Night. So I'm doing movie reviews now, like some physical media Blu-ray reviews on Off the Shelf Movie Night, as I walk around downtown doing my 15,000 steps a day. So if you want to see what downtown Nashville looks like with me behind a mask, that will be a way for you to see some cool footage because that little camera is amazing. So that's about it. I guess we'll see everybody next week.
Bye everybody.